Jim Tashora Jones, the mayor of St. Louis, wants to do what seems to some people like a very simple thing. She wants to solve poverty by giving people money. She's got $5 million in federal money, and she's going to help 440 families by sending them $500 a month for a year and a half.
And that will make those families considerably better off. And after a year and a half, they'll be back in their own situation, old situation. Well, what she's looking for is an experiment in guaranteed income. In other words, these will be low-income people up to, I think, 170% of poverty, which is $39,000, $37,000 for a family of 4. And they'll have kids in the public schools. And it will obviously improve their lives for 18 months, then it's gone.
Yeah, well, and 440 families is not much. I mean, the poverty rate in the city of St. Louis is 20%, which equates to around 28,000 households struggling to get by. So, this is not really going to make a dent in that. In fact, there have been a number of experiments in cities across the country, and they're promising in some ways, but none of them have been long-term enough or large enough to really put a dent in poverty.
The idea of a guaranteed income, if you did it nationally, is somewhat attractive. Right now, we have a welfare system that's just like all over the place. Yeah. You get food stamps. And if you work, you get the Earned Income Tax Credit. You get a child credit. Maybe you get old-fashioned welfare. And if you do this, you get it. And if you don't, you get it. There's some rationale to simply giving people a bottom floor of income.
Right.
There have been experiments with this, piecemeal. Back in the 70s, there was a big experiment. And they gave people money for, I think, a couple of years, and they found that men worked 7% less and women worked 17% less when you did this. But then there was an experiment more recently in Stockton, California, in which they found that people actually worked a little bit more. Yeah. It actually encouraged them to, it enabled them to maybe get a car so they could get to work. That kind of stuff.
Or pay for daycare, or all the other barriers that face people. No, most of the localized experiments have been promising in that way. The people do use the money for essentials like food, paying their heating bill, and so on. They're not squandering it for the most part, which is what a lot of critics were saying. And it doesn't seem to discourage work. At least according to the limited evidence we have. The problem is no local government really has the resources to do this sustainably. The only entity that really does is the federal government. Now we had, when we had the expanded child tax credit for a couple of years, that cut the child poverty rate in half. That was a form of guaranteed income.
It was.
I think if the best to hope for out of experiments like the one being done in St. Louis is they produce yet more evidence to convince our federal lawmakers that something like this makes sense as a bedrock of the federal welfare program.
Sure. If you gave $1,000 to everybody, from $1,000 a month to everybody, guaranteed $12,000 income, it would cost $3 trillion a year. Which is a
well, that was the Andrew Yang idea during the 2020 campaign. We'll give money to everybody, and you give money to Bill Gates and Elon Musk who don't really need it. I mean,
obviously, you could limit it something like that. But what we're talking about is basically transfer payments. We're talking about to implement something like this, you would have to basically raise taxes on the rich and corporations and give it to poor people. You could see economic benefit from this. The poor people will spend the money. And it would prime the pump on the economy, get more people to work, that kind of thing. Would it discourage work? Well, the evidence seems to be mixed on that. Would people waste it? Probably not. We've had enough experience, so they don't waste it. So
it goes for essentials. So that's why this St. Louis experiment will be one more piece of evidence. It's very small though, 440
Sure.
families in a year and a half. Yeah, you're not going to see poverty disappear or even be measurably reduced in St. Louis as a result of this. It'll help a few people, and maybe we'll get some evidence that helps change national policy going forward.
Perhaps.